Hey guys, this is Believe It or Not. Believe it or not, we're not experts.
Not even close. And most of what I'm doing here is just asking questions. So, sorry.
Yeah, so you can ask your own questions, look into it further, and just have some fun with us.
Yeah, and sometimes we say bad potty words. So, sorry.
I got hymns here. Get him while they're holy, fresh from God's brain to your mouth.
He's God here in this radio station. Smite me! Almighty smiter!
The Bible is black and white.
I have such doubts.
Get out of here, devil!
I'm a god, not the god. I don't think.
And you will know my name is the Lord!
We're on a mission from God.
Hey everybody, welcome to Believe It or Not.
The podcast where we don't necessarily believe, but we don't have anything better to do.
Yeah, we're trying.
We're trying.
You know?
We're learning about different things, all religious-y stuff.
Yeah.
Trevor knows a lot more about this than I do.
Even I don't know a lot.
And he don't know a lot. So we both don't know lots about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're here today, is to talk about those things that we don't know and pretend to give opinions that seem informed, but in actuality are far from it.
Yeah, exactly. So Damien, how was your day?
Oh, my day was fine. Pretty uneventful. I bopped around a bit, went to work. It was pretty slow, and then here I am.
Okay.
How about you, Trevor?
Same. Busy at work, but other than that,
Bopped around.
bopping around some Sunday brunch,
Oh,
serving up those vegan eggs.
Oh, what's a vegan egg?
It's tofu with like turmeric in it.
Okay, I've had tofu scramble.
That's what it is.
Is that what you
Yeah,
do? Okay.
yeah.
You can't do sunny side up though,
No.
right?
Unfortunately,
No.
I think there's a way. Like,
Could you do like a sheet of tofu with I don't know, like some runny orange goo on top?
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, we'll get you set up.
What would be a good vegan orange goo? You let us know in the comments.
Yeah. I think if you mixed up some carrot and some parsnip and you could. Anyways, have you ever met anyone who claimed to be Jesus before?
Who claimed to be Jesus?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Have you ever met anybody who like thought they were like way more important than they actually were?
Most people I've ever met, yes.
Okay, yeah. So I too, and I think these people are the ones who take it a little extra. And I'm talking about people who have claimed to be Jesus or the second coming,
So
or
these
in
are
some way. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a little fun list here instead of picking one topic. I mean, instead of picking one like Aryan history or whatever, we go through a list of people who.
Interesting.
Who
I know a lot
Jesus.
of people. There's a long-standing joke in a lot of comedies and stuff that if Jesus came back, no one would believe him.
Yeah.
So we gotta wonder.
Maybe one of these
one of
guys,
these people
yeah.
might have actually been Jesus.
Or he just keeps trying.
Nobody believed him.
Like he's been all over them in like no time. Like,
do you think
enough
he
people-
would have? Do you think he would have given up?
I don't know. No, I think Jesus. Well, he gave up the first time.
That's true. He's like, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe he would this
He
time.
might have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I'll try again in another 1,000 years.
I think this has been a thing since forever that people claim to be a god or some sort of godhead. I don't think that's any sort of new thing.
I'm sure that's how a lot of religions started.
Yeah, because even when people were waiting for like a Messiah or whatever, kind of in the era that Jesus supposedly was around, like John the Baptist, the reason he's in the Bible basically is so they could write in a story where they showed that he was saying, no, it's Jesus. He's the one who's the Son of God.
Okay, so there's enough people saying that the Messiah was coming.
Yeah.
And they needed someone to kind of vouch for him.
Yeah, and a lot of people thought it might be John the Baptist, so they put that in the story. And
so now this is more about a second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, so then...
What's sorry, if I may, before we kind of get into the list, what's the precedence for that? Like, I know they're saying that there will be a second coming, but is there kind of like a timeline or some sort of...
Depends who you talk to. Like, I think we're gonna find there's a lot of people who will make claims have made claims about when the second coming is supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And they've all passed.
Are those all interpretations of Scripture?
They all take, like, they do numerology, or they do, like, certain things based on historical events, and they say, oh, this thing, because there's a book in the Bible called Revelation.
Yep, like the Audioslave album.
Exactly. But, so people take it and try to interpret when it could be that the second coming is coming. But it also says somewhere in there that you can't know and you will never know.
So it's sort of a making a sense out of nonsense.
Yeah.
When it tells you that you can't make sense of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's an uphill battle. But are there other accounts in the Bible or any of the books that kind of give an idea of when it's supposed to be?
Not really, like... Well, yes, actually, sorry.
You always hear people saying, like, oh, it should have been this time.
Yeah, well, because it said... there will still be people from this generation that are alive when it happens. So they thought it was coming right away.
Okay.
So yeah, and then later books that were written said no, that's a symbolic term. And then so eventually, like, even like later books that were written that are in the Bible would say, like, no, it didn't mean this generation. It meant, like, you know.
Yeah, which is an interesting thing. Is a lot of those contradictions based on books.
Yeah.
Which is something we should talk about too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's lots of contradictions.
Well, because I know, like, part of it has to do with the books that ended up making it in the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. The Council of Nicaea is when they decided on which books counted.
Which ones were canonical.
Yeah.
Which ones were just extra.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get to the list. Sorry, we kind of tangentialized there a little bit, but I wanted to kind of get a basis of what these people were kind of where it comes scripturally before we got into what it is.
And I think we need to come up with some sort of bell or something like that whenever we trace something back to sex or money, because I feel like that's going to be something we've already seen that, and I think we're just going to see it in every episode.
Nice.
That there's going to be something.
Yeah.
Lots of time, especially in this list, the motivation is either going to be sex or money or both.
Are we going to have, like, a cash register for money and then, like, a really bad orgasm?
Yeah.
Like, really long, really loud, that makes everyone uncomfortable, but they know what we're talking about.
Or just that, from The Simpsons, when he's like, do you come with the car? Just the, oh, you sound.
That works, too. That one gets me going.
So let's go to Russia first. We're going to start in Russia in the 1700s. So this guy lived a long life, 102 years old. So maybe there's a little bit of miraculous stuff going on there. But he lived from 1730s to 1832. Oh, so that's just kind of an estimated. That's kind of when he lived. Yeah. So maybe he wasn't that old.
Maybe not have been. I think that would have been a boring time to live to 100, though.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, what do you do?
And I don't think there was a lot of changes.
I mean, if I have a weekend off, I get bored.
Yeah.
I have the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
So, who was this guy?
This guy, his name was Kondrativ Selevanov. Can you read that? Is that
Kondrativ.
Oh, that's a Y. Kondrativ Selevanov.
I don't know, some Russian name.
Something Russian.
We're probably being horribly offensive. And we apologize.
We don't have any Russian listeners.
Trevor doesn't apologize, but I do.
And he was the leader of the Skotskis sect of the Russian Empire, referred to as the White Doves. Now, what's interesting about this man?
Okay.
Sex.
Oh, you.
Sex was a sin.
Oh.
Sex was not just a sin, but sexual urges and wanting to have sex, he said, was
outside of marriage, right?
Yeah. No. Some of these people you're going to find just like sex is bad or sex is the greatest thing. With him, sex is bad.
How do you...
Right?
Everyone would all be dead and then that's it.
Yeah. I guess they don't want too many people to convert.
Is it saying it's bad but hoping that people are going to, like... people are going to sin?
Yeah, so you just have to convert the kids to the sin. I don't know.
Okay.
But he also said... No, and he also said that... since he was Jesus, and he knew he was Jesus, told people that, and then he also said that with this revelation, he interpreted, so when Adam and Eve eat the fruit, that's a symbol of them giving into their sexual lust.
Okay.
And this fruit was grafted to their bodies in the form of genitals,
all right,
like male testicles, and women's breasts.
I gotta tell you, I've never eaten fruit that felt like sex.
No, I haven't, but I've had some really juicy pears.
Oh, that's
They're very good.
Oh man, a good pear. A good pear is pretty good.
Yeah.
They don't look like testicles.
They don't. But
or dongers.
Oh man, but they feel like I don't know what they feel like, but they're good.
Okay,
so what he had these lesser seal, what he called the lesser seal and the greater seal. So you join him, you join the team. If you're a guy and you want to say, hey, I'm in, you cut your testicles off.
Oh.
But if you want to say, I'm like really in, so that was the lesser seal. If you want to say, like, I'm really into your club, you cut the whole deal off. What? So your penis and your testicles, gone.
Did people do this?
People did it.
People did this.
I saw a picture of it when I was researching this.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Life's short.
I can't imagine. Okay, so first of all, I was like, sex is bad.
Yeah.
No one should do it. And then the people that do want to be in this have to cut your junk off.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you have high enrollment rates on
that.
Can you imagine if that's what you had to do to join the Y?
But you get to use the pool anytime.
As much as you want.
Oh man, so this group, it was never very big, but it was around until the 1940s.
I'm surprised it stayed that long.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And people were still cutting off their junk.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe it's like...
you never know.
Okay, so the church I grew up in, 2 generations before I was there, neckties were considered evil. But when I was there, people were wearing neckties. So maybe it was like, the group's still around, but we're still going to keep our lower neckties. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I'm going to call penises lower neckties for the rest of this.
That's fair. Lower neckties.
Yeah. So, so we go from Russia to England and the Americas. And then we'll go to Anne Lee. So Anne Lee never really claimed she was Jesus right away, but she eventually accepted.
Is that something... I'm curious about how that plays out with her being a woman. Too.
Yeah.
I wonder what the kind of pushback for that would.
Well,
have been.
this is in the 1700s. Quakers already claimed equality of the sexes, so she came out of that, and they were actually, with exceptions, but for the 1700s, they were pretty progressive in that way.
Yes. Okay.
So she came out of that movement. She never originally claimed.
That makes more sense then.
And then it was her followers who started claiming she was Christ, and basically saying that she's the feminine version. Saying that the Christ would return as a woman, so that. To fulfill
almost
kind of
balance
both. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, but she also, what she thought of sex.
Oh, you.
What?
Didn't like it.
She didn't like it either?
And not even within marriage. Her followers had to stop having sex.
You can't have a good...
I know.
You can't keep a club going.
And it's funny, like the one before, this one actually lasted way longer because it goes on getting converts, right? Like, it's not about, like, most religions thrive because like Catholics, they have, like, 10 kids each, and Mormons have 10 kids each.
This one's all about, no, you die, and then you gotta get fresh people.
Yeah.
Before you die.
Yeah. So, and we'll talk more about the Shakers another time, but that's one...
Like the Moogers and Shakers?
So, it was the Quakers, and then they became the Shakers.
Oh, okay.
So,
are they like the cinnamon sugar sprinkles you put on your Quaker Oats?
Yeah, your Quaker Oats. It's funny because Quaker is like, they quake in the spirit. So, like, they'd be
is
praising...
that why they're called Quakers?
So they'd be praising God, and then they'd start quaking. And then Shakers, which came out of this... They said that when they'd be praying for demons to come out of people, they would shake because they said the demons were fighting to stay inside.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So then we got Ernest Norman.
Ernest Norman, 1904 to 1971. So this guy's a little more recent.
Yeah. So this guy's more recent. And once again, this is not a comprehensive list. There are so many.
I can't imagine.
Like, even right now, there are at least 5 that I can think of famous.
If you think you are Jesus, please.
We'd love to have him on the podcast. Yeah. So Ernest Norman, I wasn't going to put him in this list, but then I just read the name of his organization and I had to. Okay. So it's the Unarius Educational Foundation.
Unarius?
Unarius.
What is Unarius?
What does it mean, you ask?
Yeah, what is it?
Its followers have 3 answers depending on who you ask. At least 3.
Okay.
Okay, so
nobody really knows.
Nobody really knows. Some say it's as simple as it's just a word that means love in action.
Okay.
Which is nice. That's a nice name for a religion. You do go out and do nice things.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Love and action.
In action.
Oh, in action.
So, like, hey, like, we're gonna love people.
Okay, yeah.
Another would say it's just a synonym for infinity.
Okay.
And, but others would say it's an acronym, meaning universal, articulate, interdimensional understanding of science. Yeah.
Okay.
So he started as he was an electrical engineer and stuff like that, and a scientist, and then he started getting interested in the paranormal and stuff, and became a paranormal investigator. And I guess somewhere along the line, he was also decided he was the Christ.
It's such an interesting thing when you see someone who comes from a very scientific, technical background, kind of moving towards a more. In this case, I'm going to say more kind of kooky.
Yeah.
Because when you go from paranormal and then to believing you're Jesus... I mean, if you're going into a religious background, I'm not going to say that's kooky. I'm going to say that's a spiritual thing, and that's a totally different topic. But for someone who's going full-blown, I am Jesus, and I've got to find those ghosts.
Yeah.
That's such a strange turn.
Yeah. He wrote 20 books.
He wrote 20 books.
And one of them was called The Truth About Mars.
Okay.
Where he claims that he was transported in the spirit to Mars.
Yeah.
And met its leader.
All right. Abe Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln. Oh, Nerel, but it could have been Abe Lincoln reincarnated in... We don't know.
That was from a cartoon, I think.
Really?
I think it's an adventure... I think it's Adventure Time, where Abe Lincoln's the king of Mars.
Oh, really? That's amazing. I always thought it was John Carter.
It could be something else. It could be something else. I don't remember, but...
I think with all of them, there's one later on that he has a quote that says, I'm either a crazy person or I'm either Jesus Christ, and I really did have these experiences, or I'm a crazy person and you shouldn't listen to me. That's like one of his quotes he says.
That's such a strange... Can you imagine being at that point in your life where you don't even know what your reality is?
Well, so the guy who said that...
self-aware enough to know that you could be fucking bonkers.
Yeah. Well, so that guy who said that quote, when we'll get to him, his name is A.J. Miller. He's more modern. I think he's just doing it for the money. And he uses that quote to because he's very smooth talking, and he's very likable, and he's very he just has this kind persona.
He's just like, well, I said I might not be.
Yeah. But this guy, I don't know. I think he could just be a crazy person.
This guy sounds like it. If you write a book called The Truth About Mars, then...
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe his followers love that shit.
Probably do. Yeah. Who's next?
Next up we got Krishna Venta.
Krishna
Venta. Yeah. So he lived from 1911 to 1958. He's a leader of a religious group in California called WKFL, which sounds way too much like a radio station.
It does sound like WKRP in Cincinnati.
Living on the air in Cincinnati. Wisdom, knowledge, faith, and love. What's the name?
So this is something probably... This is like getting into those like Hare Krishna kind of ideas, isn't it?
Yeah. It won't know. That's probably
his name is Krishna.
Yeah. So he. I think a few of them say he's not just. They're not just Jesus. They're also other people.
Yeah.
This guy.
Kind of an embodiment of all those kind of religious icons.
Yeah.
But an amalgamation of them in a way. It's like, I am Krishna, I am Buddha, I am whatever, yeah.
Well, he said he is the Messiah, he is Christ, and he brought a convoy of rocket ships from an extinct planet to save them, and that's where humans come from.
Okay. That's very Scientology.
That's very Scientology, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
I think that's a funny thing, too, like, because you said this was in the 40s and the 50s when this happened.
Yeah.
So this is like when a lot of science fiction is coming out too.
Yeah.
And seeing that kind of push towards...
Because that statement was from 1948 with the rocket ships.
When you're seeing the push of rocket ships and airplanes, and that's kind of how they're dealing with the technological revolution of the last 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of took off.
Because it's not like he's saying a new technology that has since been discovered since he said that. He's like talking about what is the top at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it almost seems like it's a way for people kind of to justify this sudden change in ideologies.
Yeah.
But justifying it with a spiritual belief too.
Yeah.
Which is very bizarre.
Yeah. I have to say how he died, because that was interesting. It was a suicide bombing.
A suicide bombing.
Yeah, so one of his parishioners or one of his followers, suicide bomb killed him because he had been sleeping with a number of the members' wives.
Right.
Oh, you.
And so he's like, yeah, we're out of here. And he was stealing a lot of money from the church.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that. Next is Jim Jones, which I won't talk too much about.
Jim Jones.
You know who Jim Jones is, right? Jonestown Massacre?
Oh, I've heard of this.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid. He's the guy who, him and his cult all killed themselves.
So, like, pretty well there's so many books and stories based on that.
Yeah. And, like...
joining cults and drinking the Kool-Aid and everyone dying.
Because I want to do a full episode on Jim Jones, but he did not start even believing in God or religion, but he had these ideas. He was very anti-racism, and he had these certain ideas, and he figured the best way to spread these ideas, which a lot of them were actually really good thoughts, was to become a preacher because he thought that had the most influence. So he would pretend to believe in God at first.
A manipulative person, kind of taking advantage.
But then it just went to his head,
which is interesting because I mean, some people could argue that a lot of religious things, that's kind of how they started anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whether or not that's true, I don't want to slander anybody in any way like that. But
and then another sad one is Marshall Applewhite.
Applewhite, okay.
And that is, do you remember the Heaven's Gate cult?
I've heard of it. I don't know much about that.
Yeah, and it was another mass suicide when Hale-Bopp Comet was passing.
How do these mass suicides kind of reconcile themselves with something that is not suicide a sin?
Depends on the sect.
Does it depend on the sect?
Because Catholics, it's a mortal sin.
I know for some it's a mortal sin, yes.
And when growing up in the church I was in, some people said it is like it's an unforgivable sin because you can't ask for forgiveness after you've done it. So it's like taking a life is a big thing, but if you murder someone, you can still ask for forgiveness. If you kill yourself, then
which is such a weird
and then others would say
I get it, but it's still such a weird if you go to an afterlife though, can't you ask for forgiveness there?
Yeah, well, it depends on depends on which religions. Mormons definitely you can. It's funny because Catholics have purgatory.
So you would think that in purgatory you would be able to ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, some you can, some you can't. Like it's because I know because there is a verse where in the Bible where Jesus goes to this place where the lost are to convert them after. But most Christians ignore that and say it's a metaphor. It's or a parable.
Is that just kind of a deference so they don't have to deal with people committing suicide in a way?
Maybe, yeah.
Almost this is a problem that we don't want to have to deal with, so we just kind of say, oh well.
Yeah, and I think with Jim Jones, the way he was able to get people to do it is by claiming he was the Messiah, right? Yeah. And saying it's okay because I'm forgiving you and you're coming with me, so right? We're all doing this together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and with Marshall Applewhite, I think they were more the body is kind of a vessel, and they weren't actually killing themselves. They were just joining the UFO that was behind.
Dropping their vessel for a different one. Yeah. Transference of the spirit to something else.
David Icke does not claim to be the Messiah anymore.
Oh, he did for a while.
He did for a while. So he's a big conspiracy theory crazy person. Okay. He is insane.
So my favorite people.
Oh, they're the best. He's like Tom Jones if Tom Jones lost it.
Okay.
Oh man, look this guy up.
Is Tom Jones very conspiracy?
Did I say Tom Jones?
Yeah, you said Tom Jones.
Can we start that
That's
over?
Why I was very confused.
What's the InfoWars guy?
Oh, Alex Jones.
Oh, I'm such an idiot. Tom Jones. Oh man,
I was like Tom
We're
Jones?
keeping that in. I was gonna say let's cut that, but no, Tom Jones. It's
not unusual.
It ain't unusual to go out all the time. That's the words, right?
So Alex Jones. Okay, if
Alex Jones was insane, because he already is, but he's off the wall.
That's a lot.
But so David Icke was
making the frogs gay.
Yeah, you got to go out with the goblins. But yeah, so David Icke was a footballer, soccer player, and then a sports announcer in Europe, and then
Chubkins. Sorry, I'm reading your notes.
Yeah.
And it says current nut job conspiracy theorist.
Oh man, yeah. Google David Icke. Icke is how you spell Icke.
Is that Ike or Ick?
Everywhere I look to pronounce it Ike.
Okay,
but
Ike.
yeah.
Ike.
And yeah, so he was a sports announcer, and then he held a press conference to let people know that he was the son of the Godhead.
Okay, what's the son of the Godhead?
So Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Okay, so that's the Godhead.
So he's Jesus in that.
Jesus.
Yeah. And that the world was going to end in 1997, and you needed to be prepared. Yeah, so that was him, and then eventually he's like, nah, take back. I don't know.
Take backs. Just kidding.
Jokes.
Well, that's like a lot of people saying, it's like, what if the world really did end then, and now we're like in this weird purgatory?
Yeah.
And that's why
or
Trump's
like,
president.
well, that's what... Is it Jehovah's Witnesses? Yeah, Jehovah's Witnesses, they predicted that Christ was going to return like 1890s or something like that. And then when it didn't happen, they said that he was a soft lunch or like...
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the name.
It was the soft lunch, the soft open before the true grand opening.
Yeah, we got to test the market. Yeah. So like it was a spiritual return, and it's like, I don't know. And
you
then
hand out some coupons for when the real opening happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
Yeah. And
half price 2 appetizers. Okay.
Tell your friends. And then so AJ Miller, this guy drives me insane.
Why does he drive you insane, Trevor?
Basically, he gets like basic like self-help stuff, and he sells it as spiritual like wisdoms, and he holds seminars and stuff. But then he also gets like people to sell their property and like
so like a real like wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, and he's very like charming and like very, and he's convinced his girlfriend that she's the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene.
Oh, he convinced his girlfriend that.
Yeah, and he's convinced a lot of his members that they're reincarnations of different people. Like, one of the interviews, this guy was bawling because he realized that he was the one who crucified Christ. Like, he nailed his hands.
So is this guy? Is he someone who believes this, or is he that deluded, or is he like a total, like full con artist who's just scamming?
I feel like he's a con artist.
Yeah.
And I really just like watching him talk and like just the way he speaks, like he seems together, and I think a lot of people who are struggling and trying to find meaning really really like are attracted to him.
Yeah. Because
he is so confident and he's so sure of everything he says. And it's just sad watching the people around him, and like
there's a lot of people like that. It's very depressing.
And there was an interview too with his ex-girlfriend, and she was talking about how he was trying to convince her that she was the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene.
And then he has another girlfriend who finally did convince it.
Yeah.
Okay, then this is definitely somebody who.
Yeah.
But then again, he could just be so deluded that he just keeps thinking it too. But it's probably more sinister than that.
Yeah. And then and there's another guy. Vice did a documentary, but I don't know a lot about it. I copied and pasted some stuff, but basically, Sergey Antonovich Torup is his name. He he goes by Vissarion.
Vissarion,
and he has.
That sounds like a really bad video gaming online like kind of username.
Yeah. Like you thought it'd be cool, but then everybody's like, "Wait, is that when somebody can't give birth, so they have to..." No, that's cesarean.
Oh, is that like when you get your testicles cut?
Yeah. No, that's maybe it's a combination of a cesarean.
It's when you cut the baby's testicles out so they can't have babies in the womb.
Yeah, he has a lot of followers, though, according to different reports, although this kind of varies because people just say that...
How many's a lot?
10,000.
Okay, that's a few.
Yeah, so could be as low as 4,000.
To be fair, though, I mean, some people on Twitter get 10,000 followers.
That's true.
And they're not interesting or noteworthy at all. So
yeah.
There's how many people on this planet now?
Over a dozen.
Okay.
Like, well over.
Yeah.
I'm talking, like huge over.
3 or 4 dozen.
At least. And you might want to write me in and say, "Oh, guys, it's a lot more than that." I'm saying at least.
At least that.
Yeah. So,
not less than that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, save it for the next guy.
Yeah, talk to someone who cares.
Why did I want to talk about this guy? Probably again, they always talk about they always say the reincarnations of Christ. Christianity doesn't believe in reincarnation.
Okay.
So
again, like the Christian, like the dogma would be that the second coming of Christ is not a reincarnation of Christ, but it's
supposed to, like in the Bible it says it's like him actually returning as he left, because he left by according to the Bible he left by like floating up into heaven. He's supposed to come back and the whole world's supposed to see him.
He took the space elevator up.
He took the space elevator
and
he's supposed to take the space elevator back down. And he's supposed to have trumpets, and he's supposed to have horsemen.
Like a nice band.
A nice band.
Yeah.
Ska band.
An equestrian show.
Yeah. With the nice hats on the riders. It's like...
So these people, they're taking it and saying that they're a reincarnation of it, where... Again, it's funny to see how people take these things, and they're somehow able to justify it enough that other people can start to believe it.
Yeah.
And obviously, a lot of people who are very fragile and kind of susceptible to these suggestions.
I think that's a lot of it. Because I've been in churches or like things like that where people just really idolize the leader and really like hold them up to this standard of like infallibility. And you take that a couple steps further and you're there, right? Like,
and I'm not trying to say like people who go to church and stuff are susceptible and anything like that. I'm talking about the people who believe in these like very extremist kind of sects. Yeah. Those are people who are a lot more... It's different. It's a lot different.
It is, And
I'm not trying to like make people listening feel like assholes.
No, but it's something to watch out for. I think.
It's definitely something.
It's question things and like try
which I think is very important. Yeah.
Follow the money. Follow the sex.
Can't you see you're not making Christianity better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
That's a little levity for today.
A little levity. We're talking a lot about Jesus. And I think people who believe in Jesus want him to be there. And I think people who believe in that these people were Jesus were really hoping that Jesus could be in their house. So the lyric that I have chosen is from an artist named Carmen. The song was called Who's in the House?
Actually?
Yes, so the song's called...
Is it a rap song?
It's a rap song.
Okay.
But guess what? He's not a rapper.
Okay.
All his other songs are not rap. But he thought one day, I'm going to do a rap song.
Because he's in the house.
Because he's in the house. And I think it was...
So this came out, say.
What, in the 90s? And I feel like it was way after people knew what rap was. Because you know how there's a lot of bad
rap. Probably more like mid-80s rap when it was still kind of fun.
Yeah, like when people were trying to figure out what rap was, there was a lot of bad rap. Yeah, and just people describing what rap was in their rap song.
Oh, MC Hammer.
Yeah.
He's rap.
But this was well after that, and he's like, I think I'm going to do a rap song. And this is what he came... These are the lyrics he spit. So, born. He said it in a cool way, though.
Yeah.
He was born to a virgin named Mary on Christmas Day. He bled and he died on the cross to take sin away. You take him high, you take him low. You take JC wherever you go.
Calls him JC's.
JC,
wow.
They're buds.
All right.
Now tell me who's in the house? JC. And he goes on like that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess nothing gives you street cred like being on a first initial basis with JC.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I call you DD all the time.
You never call me that.
Double D.
Except that time when I have to drive you home.
Yeah. Hey, Double D!
Yeah, I'm the DD, whatever.
Yeah. So that's...
so it repeats that a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of question and it's JC.
Yeah. Jesus Christ is in the house today. The way is straight and narrow. The few there be that find it today. And there's a mangle in the tangle. Oh, that's a good line. There's a mangle in the tangle. And it's Jesus Christ. He's the way.
What does a mangle in the tangle mean?
I don't know, because all I can think of... Do you remember that Will Ferrell sketch? Where he's like, the angle of my dangle is directly proportional to the heat of my meat? That's all I can think of.
Because I don't think there's a mangle in the tangle makes any sense.
No.
Because what isn't a tangle already? Like, it's the same thing. It's redundant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's a twist in the knot.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's a knot.
There's flour in the pasta.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a noodle in the pasta.
Yeah. Yeah, it's better. Yours is better. So yeah, I think that's it from us today.
I think that is us from us today.
Keep believing or not.
Or not. I mean, it's up to you. We don't necessarily do, but that's not the point. We're here to talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk.
Let's talk, friends.
Work, Sky Moon.